A friend had referred to me on Facebook, and I just followed it, liked the page, and kind of kept up with it, and finally made the decision to come a few months ago.
I've been challenged to think big about the work of God in the world. I have a vision to plant in Dallas, but God, through this conference, is expanding my vision for what I think our church plant could be and how we can partner with those brothers and sisters who want to reach India.
Before I came here, I thought I was like the only guy. I encouraged my brother, and my brother encouraged me to be a South Asian church planter, to lead a multi-ethnic, non-denominational church. And then coming here, just so encouraged to see that there's many people who have a similar passion, and just seeing these people, forget even talking to them or hearing their stories, just seeing that there are these people who have the same fire, hunger, zeal, and a passion to live for God's kingdom purposes has been very encouraging. And for me, I could go back being rest assured that I am part of a bigger network and a bigger movement of what God's doing all across America and the rest of the world.
I want my friends and family members to feel the passion and the energy and the love of our Creator that the people at this conference have.
So my biggest takeaway was just the fact that there's no superstars in the Christian church. Like, God's kingdom is forever, God will build His church, and we're just ordinary people doing God's work.
Honestly speaking, this entire weekend has been such a big encouragement. Being a South Asian American, being a girl, being young, I feel like I was one of the youngest people in this room, and the struggles that I'm facing day to day with trying to pursue ministry in a context where ministry isn't really approved or spoken about, I've surrounded by a generation of people who've already gone through it before me. And so for the first time today and this past weekend, I was able to hear the stories of people who have gone through it, how these conversations have been breaking stigmas, have been breaking barriers between our generation and our parents' generation, and it's been so eye-opening. And the thing is about this entire thing is that it was exemplifying Christ and denying ourselves. The whole concept of this conference was being ordinary, and it was so cool to see people go through the same struggles that I've been going through, but instead of focusing on their own lacking in limitations to this whole process, it was about exemplifying who Christ is and how great He can move to break down all these barriers. So that was great.
Something that challenged me throughout this conference was just the gospel centrality that's been such a major focus. I think it's really easy as you church plant to constantly focus on strategizing and how we can get this person to come or these people to come or whatever, and just the focus and centrality of the gospel throughout this weekend has been such a convicting thing, even for my own heart, to get back to that root and that foundation of the gospel. It's been really cool to hear in a more intimate setting some of the stories and practical stories of people who have planted or are currently planting or are going to plant. And just hearing what the process is like or has been immensely encouraging for me to hear. So that's been probably the best part so far.
Another thing that's challenged me is to make sure that our focus is on a kingdom dream and not an American dream. And I thought that was really beautiful to gather in a family reunion full of brothers and sisters from India that I hadn't known before. It's been really beautiful.
It's also nice to be in a setting where there's other people that's just as passionate followers of Christ, and just to learn from them, to see how they do it. It's such a good environment to be in. So yeah, we would definitely recommend it.
I would recommend Advance highly. Me and my brother, when we walked in, we were like, man, we're coming from the West Coast. There's hardly anybody that we know of that are doing this. And we come here and we see a room full of people who are passionate, brown-skinned, just loving God and passionate to advance the gospel. And it was just an encouraging thing to see and be inspired by.
If you love church and if you love Jesus, you should be part of this conference and think about expanding His kingdom through church planting and being a part of the whole thing as ordinary people doing things for the extraordinary God.
I would definitely recommend Advance to anyone who is part of any church. Honestly, it's not just for people who are in a ethno-specific church or a multicultural church. It is for anyone and everyone, because the work being done here goes far beyond any specific ethnicity. It is truly rooted in the gospel. So I would recommend that anyone and everyone come to this. Yeah.
I would definitely recommend people to come to this conference. Again, to get a big vision for what God is doing in the world, I would definitely say come to Advance Initiative and see what God will do in you.